Incoming transmission. The Stank Podcast contains vulgar language and mature topics. So if you're a kid, turn your ears off. And make sure your elderly Christian grandmother is not listening. End of transmission.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stank Podcast, where it is me, and only me, Gillian, because I'm doing a solo episode. We had issues with the last recording sesh, so here I am, coming through with a last-minute setup, and this is my bookshelf, and I have a lamp pointing at my face, and I have 3 books on my lap to hold up this microphone. Hey, let's get it, janky. Love that. So today we're going to be talking about frenemies, and if you don't know, they've been through a lot of drama lately. So I wanted to kind of conceive a little timeline of their entire relationship, because I'm crazy. Okay. I have notes here on yellow paper. Wow, that was really bright and not fun for my eyes. So I have these notes here. They are crinkly, so if that bothers you, I'm sorry. You don't have to listen if you don't want to. So Ethan and Trisha. This one is going to be up in like 3 parts, okay? We're going to have how they met, and then we're going to have the Frenemies Podcast, and then we're going to have the aftermath. All right. So let's get started with how they met. May 2019, Ethan Klein on H3 Productions posts a video called Instagram versus Reality. In this video, he critiques girls' looks on Instagram and in reality. For example, I think he went for Tana Mojo. Obviously, he went for Trisha because she's an open person and she posts her model and Photoshop pictures and then what she really looks like normally. Well, Mr. Klein takes it way too far. Everybody, I think, that knows him knows he takes some jokes too far. So he comes here and he's like, look at this chick. She looks like a linebacker. Yeah, I know he says that, and I know he calls her a whale as well. Not cool. Don't like that. Goodbye. And Trisha, she responds with a kitchen floor crying video, which if you know, you know, okay? But it's very self-explanatory. She is on her kitchen floor crying. So she complains that she's been bullied by Ethan, which is completely understandable because she was. And they kind of go back and forth for a while. Like, Ethan makes a parody video of her. It's not my favorite. It's not really cool. But then, October 2020, Trisha comes on to the H3 podcast. So it goes rocky. Now, rocky is going to be, I'm probably going to say that 15 times because that's just what this is. It's a rocky relationship. At one point, I know that Hila has to defend Ethan because Trisha's really coming after him. And this is after she already told him he's a 10 out of 10 and he looks amazing. And she would date, you know. So, after this first fiasco of an episode where it went back and forth like mania, they agree. They come together and they make The Bachelorette. It's a show, obviously, you know The Bachelorette's a show, but they made it The Bachelorette. And look at the screen right now because it says Bachelorette, not Bachelorette. So there were 2 episodes of this, and through those 2 episodes, Trisha ends up meeting Moses, who is Hila's brother. So the beginning of that relationship, it was supposedly a friends with benefits relationship at the beginning. And it was just drama everywhere in the family, between the outside of the family. Trisha is drama. That's just her life. That's just what she is. And that's how she makes her money. Okay? We know that. So she ends up posting a video, and she's like, H3H3 ruins my relationship. And obviously Ethan and Hila responded. We're like, no, we didn't. No, we did not. So during this drama, somehow Ethan and Trisha stop going for each other's throats, you know, and they decide to make a friend enemies podcast. The friend enemies podcast. They band together. They said, no, we will not fight over Twitter anymore. It will be face to face. We will fight face to face. So now we move on to the Frenemies Podcast. Ew, I hate that voice. If I ever do that voice again, say, hey, don't do that voice. And I'll do it anyway. So, the H3 Podcast. I personally did not start watching the H3 Podcast until like episode 3. Because, I don't know, it went over my head. Okay, I was definitely a big fan of Trisha and Ethan. So, when I saw that they were doing a podcast, not a big fan. Let me think. Wait. I would say like a medium to small fan of both of them. You know? And so I saw that they were doing a podcast and I was like, oh, I'm a medium to small fan of both of them. And that kind of makes a large maybe depending on the day. So I should go watch this podcast that I am now a large fan of. If you use the math, that I am a small, medium fan of both of them. Anyway, the podcast. Little crazy. Lots of disagreements. But we're going to talk about the big ones. The ones where Trisha walked out, pretty much. Because that's how it goes every time. So it starts with episode 5. Okay? In this episode, Ethan and Trisha are doing a cosplay. They are dressed as Uncle Foster. Who the fuck is Uncle Foster? Uncle Fester and Jennifer from Jennifer's Body. Don't know it. Sounds cool. This is important, though. Listen, this is important. Remember Uncle Fester. Remember it. Remember it. Not only that, but also remember pizza. Remember pizza, because they got pizza this time, okay? Remember that. So Uncle Fester and pizza, is it in your brain? Good, it better be. I will be checking. I will be grading this project. So in the episode, Ethan and Trisha are kind of like back and forth at each other the whole episode. And eventually, Ethan says something along the lines of, you're crazier than me, you're crazy. Or something like that. Like, calling her crazy. And Trisha's like, I think that's when she kind of switched. And she's like, that's the turning point, I think, in this fight. And she starts going off. She's like, you're not open like I am. Like, I, put everything out. That's why you call me crazy. Like, why don't you talk about when you were addicted to pills in Israel? And it's like, oh, did you really just out him like that? That's not cool at all. I don't care. It's not. Disgusting. Okay? So, Ethan's like, yeah, I dabbled in pills a little bit while I was in Israel. I wasn't addicted to them. Why did you weaponize what I told you in private and bring it onto this podcast to come at me? And Trisha's like, no, I'm not weaponizing. I'm pretty much denying the obvious, because that's everything that I tell you now is going to repeat over and over again. I'm just telling you that. So she comes for him in every way she can. She's like talking about his podcast. She's talking about anything that comes to her head. She is ragging on him for. And then she walks upset. She says, I'm done. Goodbye. This is the end. And that was the end. Just kidding, though. Because 2 episodes later, Dr. Drew came on. And he's like a very controversial therapy guy or something. I don't care to research because I don't care who he is. Okay? So if you want to know who Dr. Drew is, look it up on Google. So he comes up and he's like, hey, you did a wrong. Ethan, you did a wrong. And Trisha, you did a wrong. And they both kind of were like, okay, we both did wrong. I'm sorry. You know, we can work past this. Do they work past it? You'll find out. So, episode 13. In this episode, big fight. The turning point, though, in this episode, I think came when Ethan told Trisha that they cannot talk about Hila. Now, this was in the midst of more family drama. It was not good. And Trisha had said some things about Hila that Hila did not appreciate, and Ethan didn't appreciate, and Moses didn't appreciate, and blah, 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 blah. You know how it go. And so she ends up just, okay, you know what? Why can't I talk about Hila? You know, you guys are horrible parents. She's coming, again, everything that came to her head, she came at Ethan for it. She called them horrible names. She cussed out Hila. Everything. Ethan didn't help the situation either. He was, let's be honest with ourselves here. Ethan Klein is a sarcastic asshole. I think he knows that. And if he doesn't, Ethan, you're a sarcastic asshole. Sorry. So he's being sarcastic with her while she's freaking out. And it gets to a point that Trisha walks off. Whoa! She walked off last time, and now she walked off this time? Whoa! Crazy! She, did end up going to another Dr. Drew episode. That was the next episode, so episode 14. She said she wasn't. She posted a video. She tweeted, I'm not going to the Dr. Drew episode. And then on the Dr. Drew episode, they talked, they worked stuff out, and actually things from that point seemed to be going really, really, really well. And you could kind of see them grow closer. Especially when Trisha had dropped a few of her toxic friends, Shane, Ryland, and Jeffrey. Okay? I'm not going to say last names because maybe they will come after me. And they'll be like, hey. And I'll be like, no. Hello and welcome to Ad Time. Congratulations, you have made it halfway through this episode. 10 out of 10, proud of you, dude. Proud. So we're going to talk about Tara with Tori. You can find her on Facebook at Tara with Tori. She's got all the information there. What she does, how she does it, and where she does it. Okay? And her prices are on there too. Send her a DM. Let her know what you're looking for. And she will be there to give you all of the deets. All of them. Go check out her Facebook page. Let her know that we sent you. And guys, let's get right back into it. Episode 39. Okay? Starts off sketchy. Alright? So remember when I told you at the beginning to remember Uncle Fester? Did you remember it? Because I just reminded you, so you have to remember it now. Guess who dressed up as Uncle Fester? Ethan fucking Klein. Ethan Klein did. He was like, you know what? No. Let's bring this back. Okay? I'll dress up as Uncle Fester. You'll dress up as Debbie from the fucking movie. The Addams Family movie. And what's gonna happen here is we're gonna make this work. Okay, all right. They're gonna make it work. Okay, I believe it. Me, a viewer, I believe they're gonna make this work. They're gonna turn it around. They're gonna turn it into something positive. Yes, King, do that. Anyway, from the beginning, you can see that Trisha is manic, and I personally believe that it could be because of the episode's topic, Gabby Hanna. Now, if you don't know who Gabby Hanna is, look her name up on Google. You can see, look, this is a crazy video of her.
I'm acting different.
Ketchup? Weird. So they're talking about her, and Gabby's been like weird with Trisha lately. She 100% thinks that her and Trisha had a relationship of some kind, friend, acquaintance. I don't know, because I don't think that Gabby's definition of friendship and Trisha's definition of friendship and my definition of friendship are the same. Okay? So I'm not going to judge them and be like, oh yeah, they were definitely friends because they said this to each other. I don't know. So they've been going back and forth. We were friends. No, we were not friends. But we were friends though. But no, please stop because we're not friends and I don't want to be around you. Yeah, it's been going back and forth with them. Creepy, very creepy. So they're talking about it, and Ethan motherfucking Klein. I'm gonna, like, this episode is all Ethan's fault. I'm kidding. Only because he orders fucking pizza. He orders pizza. Ethan, you are dressed as Uncle Fester, bro. And you ordered pizza. Please, sir, realize your mistake. Why have you done this? Dude, I cannot believe that he was like, yeah, let's order pizza right now. Okay, you were going good with the Uncle Fester, bro. Now we're going a little too far, bud. All right? Pizza curse. The pizza curse. So, they're talking about Gabby Hanna, and then the pizza gets there. And by that time, they had moved on to another subject, and Trish was talking about her favorite movie, Brokeback Mountain. Ha! What is that? I don't know. Ethan interrupts her. I don't know if he did it intentionally, but he interrupts her and tells the crew, like, do you want pizza? Y'all want pizza? Do you want pizza? I want pizza. I'm interrupting Trisha right now because I don't understand that she's fucking trying to talk to me or something, or maybe whatever. And Trisha's like, you're not good at this. Maybe I can find the voice clip. I don't know.
Jake Gyllenhaal said Heath Ledger refused to make like gay jokes about it, like during the Oscars, and I don't know.
Is there a third pizza?
You're so not good about this.
But she's talking about just him interrupting her. And that's where I think the turning point was in this argument, because it kind of just, it went downhill from there. Eventually, okay, Trisha starts going off and she's like, hey, you use 5% of the budget for production. I think I should have more say in the production, which is kind of like logical, but not really at all. It's 5%, girl. It's 5% of the budget. You don't need to be in charge of that, okay? It's for production costs. He's got to pay his employees, honey. Ethan's like, okay, where did this come from? Like, the 5%, that's one thing, but now you're ragging on my crew and saying that they're not doing enough, because that's exactly what happened. She was ragging on them. And then she also went off about a fan segment where fans would write in and fans would write in and ask for advice. And she was like, no, we're not doing that. It's trash. It's a trash idea. So she was just obviously not having like the other two fighting episodes. Everything that was coming to her head, she was shooting down. So Trisha insists that she is not upset about this 5%, which is kind of gaslighty. And in fact, Ethan points that out. He points out that she is feeling upset. She says, I'm not upset. And he's like, what? It's very obvious that you're upset. Your whole energy is off. You're upset. And they just go back and forth about it. Like, Ethan, let's think here for a second. Every single time that you have done that with her and gotten sarcastic with her and, you know, tried to tell her how she feels, it doesn't go well. I think at that point it should have been backed off. Why did he press so much? I feel like he did press a lot, and he was very sarcastic, and that did not help and contributed a lot. I also think Trisha should have tried her best to understand how she's feeling, and maybe she's working that out in therapy, and you know, go for that, girl. But she needs to try to understand how she feels and recognize that in that moment. This is just my opinion. she walks off the set because of all the sarcasm and all that bullshit. She's like, I'm fucking done. And Ethan's like, what the fuck? I'm very uncomfortable. This doesn't make sense. I don't realize what's going on. Like, why is this happening? Kind of thing. And they go on and they do the ad and they end the episode. There's actually a meme of Ethan being extremely uncomfortable while this whole exchange happens. And maybe I'll find it and it's right here. And if I didn't find it, you'll see me making a weird face. Because I make weird faces. The aftermath. So, before the episode, the final episode was actually posted, Trisha had posted a video saying, like, I'm stepping down from Frenemies. That's the actual title of the thing. She in that video, she goes on telling pretty much the same stuff that she talked about in the podcast, the 5%, and she's not mad about money, but the 5%, and the 5%, girl, if you wanted a crew of your own, you can get one. I know you're rich as fuck. I know you just bought a mansion, but there are plenty of people that would work for you. There's a lot. Anyway, so even after she posts these videos, she posts 2 more after the episode came out. All of them, same information, saying the same stuff. And Ethan, he posts a video on his podcast channel, and he's like, hey, what she's saying is kind of bullshit. Here's the receipts. She's been coming after me on Twitter. Here's the receipts. Why are you lying, Trisha? And she's blatantly lying in a lot of this shit. Like, blatantly lying. And then denying that she's lying, even though it's proved that she's lying. Girl, are you okay? No, she's not okay. I really hope she's getting help, though. Seriously. So, she followed that video up with multiple other videos. Now, keep in mind, all of these videos are monetized. Of course they are. That's how these people make their money. Okay? But, like, every single one, like, if you're addressing drama like this and everything, like, it's pretty personal stuff. You shouldn't even have it online in the first place. That's what I have to say. I don't know why, Trisha, you felt like you couldn't talk about it personally, but you could publicly. I don't understand that at all. So, yeah, they go back and forth with videos. Well, back and forth meaning that Ethan would post something, Trisha would post 5 things, and then Ethan would post something. And at one point, Trisha's sister had even chimed in, and she was talking about how Ethan should have used the 5% to pay for the Disney tickets that he begged to pay for, but Trisha paid for because she wanted to. She also, like, girl, they talked about it on one of their podcast episodes. You can definitely go find it. He responded to pretty much everything at this point that Trisha has said, that her sister has said, and that's where we are right now. That's where we are. So, guys, I have to say thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. I appreciate you. Check the links in the description. We got our social medias there. We've got some other stuff there. I think maybe I typed something weird, and you'll have to look and see if it's there. The weird thing. All right, guys. See you on the next episode of Stank Space. Bye.